Hello and welcome back to my channel, Checks Captures Fest. In today's video, in episode 7 of Gambits Galore, we're going to be going over a game which I played as white, and it was actually called the Falkbeer Countergambit. So actually, black creates this gambit here, but we tried playing the King's Gambit here, and there was a few blunders. I definitely made a huge blunder, and in the end, black had to find one move to save the game, in which he couldn't find it. So let's go through this. Now, just to quickly go over that, I had a 76.2 to his 75.6, so it was a very close game. So let's start. E4 played. Obviously, that's how we really play most gambits. Now, this is where we get the King's Gambit. So, with the King's Gambit, the most normal idea you'll see is this. And then this goes to any sort of other game. You know, you could have D5, you could have this, you could have anything really other than sort of moves like this, and this is what you really try and aim for, and you just get positions that are quite symmetrical, and you're really going to be just winning this pawn back soon. So that's what normally happens. Anyway, after f4, he plays the move d5. Now d5 puts us in what's called the Falkbeer Countergambit. Now, I don't know this too much, but I didn't know which one to actually take here. Now I, in the end, took this pawn, so if I was to take this pawn here, then I felt like this would have actually, which is a good idea, as you see here, it's actually a blunder, because as you see here, you actually get put into this nasty little fork here. You lose this, and if you move the king, you still lose this, and it's actually probably, I believe, a checkmate if I'm correct. I can't remember the exact thing. It is mating 3, so because of this bishop as well. But I didn't play that. I take this one, the natural one to take, and then he recaptures back. Now this is where I play the move knight c3, which isn't smart here, as this could lead to this check. King goes up, but this is actually still normal, weird enough, in the King's Gambit. The King's Gambit, this king gets a bit more active than normal. So you get a move like this, and you actually might see this move happen, and you almost change around where the kings and that go. And if you was to see, obviously this, then you get that. Or, if we trade, we're just in a bit of a normal position, though this king now can't castle. But I played knight c3, defending this pawn, obviously, and he actually just plays knight f6. So we get into now a bit more of a normal opening, where we get into this position, where we're even, and we're getting pieces out. I decided to trade here, as I felt like this was by far my better sort of idea here. Getting the pieces out, though, I feel like all normal stuff. I've now got a nice little pawn chain as well to carry this forward. He tries to pin, which I'm able to castle in time because obviously this is all protected. Now he gets his knight out, so everyone's got their minor and some major pieces out here. I get my rook to c1, which probably isn't my strongest idea, because I feel like these two pawns become very weak, and this isn't actually doing too much yet. I'm trying to look for this push, but I don't think I'll really ever get that because of this pawn here. Now this is where I start going for a bit more of a charging sort of attack here. So obviously I'm attacking this pawn here, as I've got 2 on it, but I'm also attacking this. So we obviously get a trade going. I was always a bit scared with where this could go. I was expecting something like this, but he doesn't do it anything yet. Plays the best move, I'll stop this, and I just bring the knight back. So the queen now goes to b6, definitely not a strong move from him, and I play the blunder, queen g4. Now, weirdly enough, at the time, I thought that this was fine, even as I saw the fork. I even saw this fork, and I was like, well, I think this is actually quite fine for me, because I'm only an exchange down, but it's just really not good after you see this. I could try this, but, I'm missing moves like this completely, and I think actually the best move would have probably been something like this. But again, I'm blundering that actually, so no. So, I was really lost into what I could do here, and I'm just 4 points down. I thought that it would be fine. Turns out it wasn't, but he doesn't play it anyway. I'm very lucky for that. I should have lost this game. The reason I want to show you this game anyway with my gambit is how you can try not start off some of the ideas I put at the start, and just to look out for simple things like that, but also how sometimes you can easily come back here. So I give away actually a few pawns, weirdly enough. Now they don't like this move because obviously, I'm now looking at mate, but he's able to block with this move. This is where I moved the rook, weirdly enough. Now the reason I moved the rook is actually to do a rook lift here. Now probably I wanted to do it with this, but obviously at the time that was protected, so I give him another pawn. But now I play this move, and I actually didn't like this move at the time, and I'm still losing here. and it was because of this check here, and I just felt really in the wrong place after a move like this. You know, I just felt like that this was completely losing for me, and I'm 2 points down still even after this trade. And I'd literally, yes, I've got the 7th rank, but I'm still struggling in this position. So if we go back to here, he plays Queen C2, we move our rook, and now we're in this position where I play the move Queen to D7. This changes a whole lot. He misses quite a vital move, I'd say, and this is where I'm now in an amazing position where all looks very good for me. This take here, this sacrifice, obviously can't take as its mate, and anything he does, if he does something like this is checkmate. So what does he do? Now, weirdly enough, after this check, I move the king forward one. It looks like he actually has nothing here, because let's think, he's got to try and stop these two sort of things. I mean, can't take, and he has to stop this. He can't push because of this, and there's not really anything else with these two pieces, but there is one singular move that he has to play in this position to save the whole game, in which he doesn't find, and he plays the move Queen E2. It just loses on the spot because of this. Now, you might have saw the move just a second ago, but the only possible move is knight to H4, and the reason for that is if I were to take, he now protects that square, so you can actually recapture here, and you're 4 points down as white, and you're still losing. So it's such a hectic game here to think that a position like this that looks like, you know, he's still giving away a knight, you're actually a rook down now. You're actually a rook and some pawns down, and you can't obviously play mate because it's now blocked, but obviously he does not see this, and I am able to checkmate him. So it was a scruffy game, definitely, but what I was trying to show there is how if you play the wrong moves at the start, it could really deteriorate the game. So as you saw here at the start, you know, after these sort of moves, I know my centre's not good really. It's better than his, but I just know that I'm in a bit more of a worse position. And a very simple thing is just look at what you're playing now. Yes, these are 3-minute games I'm playing, but we both still had 2 minutes left of the clock at this point. So I feel like we both should have saw this. You know, we both missed this pawn move, and I feel like I'm still. You've just got to make sure you look at everything on the board, because you wouldn't think as well, if we move a bit further forward here, that you don't really think that this queen is going at all to this. So that is going to be my game of the Gambits Galore today. Hopefully you enjoyed that bit more of a hectic one, and just trying to show you how some gambits can create a bit more chaos, and, you know, there's a bit more lines to see through, you know, many places. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. So thank you, and bye bye.